hopefully 450 back, and I'm shooting from a new location. This is actually going to be the place that I'm going to be putting my treadmill if it ever arrives. I've contacted the shipping company that NordicTrack uses, and they have either misplaced my treadmill or it is lost in shipment. Hopefully I'm going to receive that sometime later this week, but since it has some beautiful weather outside today, I have actually been able to get out and run in the new 2019 Nike Free 5.0. Since this is a new shooting location, I don't know how the audio is going to be on this, so let me hear in the comments down below how the audio is, what I need to work on and what I need to adjust, and see if I can fine-tune this, because I want to start making some videos out here a little bit too. And I can't be down in my usual studio that I usually use because my wife is raising some baby ducks right now. So they are a little noisy and I don't want to have to disturb the baby ducks. So, alright, first off, today's run. I did a 4-mile run this morning using my usual Greenbrook Park route that I haven't been able to use because of the flooding. 4-mile run, and it was a 6:58 pace, so I was able to pick up the pace a little bit more in this shoe. Starting off with the upper of this shoe. Really impressed with the upper and all that. With the comfortability and the breathability of this shoe. Across the toe box, it uses like this really stretchy engineered mesh. And it was like, it's unbelievable how comfortable this stretches is. But all of your toes end right around this black reinforcement. So your toes doesn't really rub on that. Your toes are actually underneath this black reinforcement. And this mesh runs throughout the whole front of the shoe. And then you got this black overlay that adds some structure and support. The top of the shoe uses asymmetrical lacing, where the laces are actually running up the side of your foot. And Nike says that's to take pressure off of your instep of your foot and to be able to relieve pressure. As far as lockdown with the laces, I had stuck them down pretty tight, and you got a pretty good lock. With this flexibility of this shoe, I mean, it's just unbelievable how flexible this shoe is. It's really good. My last experience with the Nike Free was way back whenever everybody was running in the Vibram toe shoes, and when the original Frees came out. And since that time, I have not ran in the Frees anymore. I've always ran in either racing flats or something more like the Pegasus Turbos or something like that as far as comes to the Nike line. I would fit this shoe somewhere in between like a racing flat, like the LT3s or the Zoom Streaks, and like the Pegasus 35. It would fall like right in there. But moving on back, it has this like sewn collar around it, and everything is one piece, so we don't have any kind of worries about a tongue sliding around or anything like that. And then it just wraps his foot really nicely. And it sits a little bit low on my foot personally, but it still does me get a pretty good heel lock. Nike put this little bitty stretchy mesh material, and this is probably even more stretchier than the front material, on the back of the heel. But this little stretchy material doesn't really even affect the ride of the shoe because it has a reinforcement in the heel that comes up the back of your heel and then sets along the heel counters and the sweatback heel collar. That makes it where this little stretchy material is pretty much, it's like, I think it's more like aesthetic than it is any kind of performance that it actually helps or benefits. Overall, my thoughts on the upper, really comfortable, but my only problem I've had with this upper, and this is actually sort of a problem with the upper midsole combination, is right here, and right there where the midsole connects with the upper. As you're running, you can feel this little piece right here, this little arch. You can feel it rubbing the inside of your arches. And it's on both shoes that I've been running in. And I felt that the whole run. It never got away, never got better. And I tried to vary the pace just a little bit. I was going at a little faster pace. I tried to slow it down just to experiment with how they'd feel overall. And that's the only thing I really noticed, is that this little arch right there and the arch of the insole pretty much line up perfectly. And that just rubs. It didn't cause any kind of irritation, or it didn't cause any kind of blisters or anything, but I was wearing socks. I was not going to wear socks with this shoe, but I'm actually glad that I did on my first run with these. I'm going to try this without socks, but I'm going to make sure that it's going to be like a little 1 mile sprints and just see, because I want to see how it's going to perform. That way I don't tear up my feet on trying to do a longer run and I'm trapped a couple of miles out and have to walk back with an injury or something. So that's overall my thoughts on the upper. Moving on to the midsole of the shoe. The shoe uses 20mm heel and a 14mm forefoot with a 6mm heel to toe drop. overall it falls right in there, in the middle, like I was saying, between the LT Freeze and the Pegasus, where the LT Freeze are more of a flatter top racing flat shoe, and then you have more something like the Pegasus that ends up getting into that 8 to 10 millimeter drops, where that's those super drops. As far as the drop on this shoe, it is like right there in that sweet spot where I like. I'm not really a big fan of the lower drop shoes, but I'm starting to get more accustomed to them and I like them a lot better since I started running into like the Beacons and more racing flats like the Run Fast Pro and stuff like that. So this is like right in the middle of those. As far as cushioning on this shoe, it's amazing for this shoe to have this much flex in it, how much cushioning that it does have. 4 mile run, no problems at all. I'm going to try later this week or next week, I'm going to try to take this up to my 8 to 10 mile distance and just see how they perform. Usually I don't even like wearing racing flats for like my 10K to half marathon type distances, but I'm going to try this one because I think it's going to be able to more get into those distances and perform really well. And then finally moving on to the outsole, which is a very, very minimal outsole. You have like this little rubber pod right on under your big toe, and you have another little rubber pod right at the lateral edge of the heel. And this is where I have a lot of wear patterns show on the lateral edge of my heel, is on my slower pace runs. I do like strike on that outer edge of my heel when I'm not keeping up a faster pace. And so that's going to be a welcome design. This, I mean, it's there, but I don't think it's going to add a lot of traction. But overall, the traction on this shoe has been really well because, and I think it's because you have all these little grooves digging in. And that is another thing. That has been my only complaint that I've ever had with really the Nike Freeze, and this reason I've really stayed away from them, is these little grooves, no matter where you run, you could run on a paved road, and these little things will find rocks. And once they start picking up little rocks in these little grooves, when you're running, you'll hear the clicking as you're going along. And that just really gets annoying to me because I really don't wear them with a lot of headphones or anything. And you can hear that clicking, and if you get a big enough rock stuck in these little grooves, then you can actually start feeling it throughout the shoe, and usually I gotta stop and pop that little rock out and keep going along. That's my only fault with the midsole outsole combination of this shoe, is the little outsole and the way it's designed. But to get that much flex, you're gonna have to have deeper grooves to be able to accomplish that. Overall, 4 mile first run of this shoe, really impressed. I'm really liking this shoe. It's going to be a really welcome addition to my current arsenal of shoes that I'm running in. It's going to be something that falls right between my racing flats and my more cushion type shoes. And I'm looking forward to giving these more of a workout. And hopefully I'll do a little bit of strengthening in my feet with having something a little more flexible. Let me know in the comments below if you've had a chance to try out the new 2019 Free 5.0, or if you've tried out some previous models of Freeze and you've had some problems with them. Let me know what those problems are. Give me some ideas of what to look for, because this is like my first venture back to this shoe for a while. And I'll be trying to do a long run in these later on next week. Also, the giveaway for my 2,000 subscriber goal ends this upcoming Saturday. So I think there's like maybe 3-4 days left on this. Depends on when I get this video up. I'm hoping to get it up today, so that would be today's Wednesday. So if you have not entered that, be sure to enter that giveaway, because I think right now there's like around 200 and something entries. So 200 entries out of 2,000 subscribers. There's really good chances of somebody walking away with that $100 gift card. So be sure to follow the link up above. I'll link it up here for my Kinvara 10 long run and giveaway. And then just follow that link that's in that description of that video to go to the giveaway. But that is it, and hopefully I'll have a treadmill here next week, and that's what this week's video is going to be. Is going to be over the NordicTrack X22i treadmill, and hopefully I'll be able to get that review out next week or whenever the treadmill does arrive, if it arrives this week. So as always, thanks for watching, and thank you for your continued support.